Ailish Kelly started a company called SÍ JEWELLERY 8 years ago. She has come from a varied background of accounting, theatre and dance, and she joins Miriam O'Gara on Business Block. Ailish, welcome to the show, the inaugural show.
Thank you so much. This is very exciting. I'm thrilled to be here, and thank you so much for asking me. I'm delighted to be here.
I'm delighted to have you. Where are you, first of all?
Well, I'm in Carbery in County Kildare. It's where everything that I make is made on the kitchen table, where we once upon a time ate as a family, whereas now it's covered in sparkles of all kinds. So yeah, I'm based in Carbery. I work from home and I absolutely love what I do. I love my work.
If kitchen tables could talk.
This one could certainly tell a few tales, that's for sure.
My goodness. Now, you are an innovator in so many ways. Can you take us back to when you first started the jewellery business?
Oh, it's yes, of course. Well, I started my business by accident. So my son Liam and my daughter Sive were both on the Irish kickboxing team, and they were traveling all over. Yeah, they were traveling all over Europe to different competitions, and I wanted them to have something with them that was protective, kind of inspiring, and I couldn't find anything that fit all the little boxes I wanted the piece to tick. So I made it myself. And then I made one for a few friends who were also on the kickboxing team. And then mommies would say, Ailish, could you make me something for an Irish dancer? And it kind of developed. And then 5 years ago, almost 6 actually, I took the leap of faith and said, okay, I'm going to do this full time. I'm going to go into business. And I did. And my business has evolved.
Wow.
A lot. You know, I'm learning new techniques all the time, learning how to do new things, and I keep evolving as I wish to grow. So it's lovely.
And you've been on television so many times. I've seen you in photographs with Turbity, with on the Late Late Show.
That was the scariest thing I have ever done in my life. I was terrified. It really, I was absolutely terrified. But I have to say, Ryan Tuberty was the nicest man. He knew how nervous I was. And I was so nervous, I was like, blah, blah, blah. and he calmed me down. And it was just like chatting to a friend then. Without him, I don't think I would have been able to, proceed with it. I was so nervous.
And isn't that really the secret of dealing with good clients as well?
Yes, it is. A lot of the clients that come in here for the initial consultation, say with the ashes or the hair pieces, they're quite emotional and they're quite upset and they're quite nervous. So it's lovely to just be able to chat about normal things first and then go into it. It is a key, I think, to make somebody very comfortable with you, to be able to chat with them.
Now, the idea of actually using ashes, how did that come about?
Well, there's 3 elements to my business. I do an awful lot of wedding pieces, memorial wedding pieces. I use the photograph of a past loved one in bouquet clips and things. And I happened to be at my gorgeous cousin Peter Lawless. I was at his wedding in Ballyferriter, and Ballyferriter is my favourite place in the whole world. And I was walking Bailbone Beach, and I have a huge history with the area, and I wanted to have a piece of that beach with me at all times.
Yes.
And I brought a piece of it home and I made it. And I made a beautiful piece of jewellery with the sand from Ballyferriter. And then I progressed and got a little bit of ashes and a little bit of hair. And because I knew what that piece meant to me.
Yes.
I knew the history I have on that beach, and I wanted that moment of having it with me all the time. And I knew that feeling would be so beneficial to other people, to have their loved one, I've done more pieces with animals, believe it or not, than I have with humans, because we love our animals, and to have them close with us, it is the sense of comfort you get from wearing a piece like that really does help with the grieving process. And it also keeps you connected
can totally understand, because I used to have a business. I had a tea rooms, Miri's Victorian tea rooms in Mount Jerome Cemetery in Dublin.
Right. Oh,
So,
what a gorgeous thing to do. You're giving people a little spot to grieve quietly, yeah.
well, it was a very interesting experience, but I can remember the options being put forward to have a piece of jewelry, for example. That they would do this when they cremated people, and I got to see the whole of the behind the scenes, workings of the business as well. And it's highly respectful. And if they jump on
Very.
board with people like yourselves who are also producing something that is a product, but it is a very emotional, a very respectful and very
Yes.
meaningful product. It doesn't take a lot for them to, if they see that you are that person, then they will partner with you
That would
very,
be
very
great.
happily. But
Yeah.
talk to us about the way in which you must obviously have to market this in a very particular way. How does that work?
Okay, well, I have to be honest, during the COVID and the lockdown and everything, I was very, very uncomfortable promoting my products.
Yes.
Because there was such sadness around the
Yeah.
world, and I didn't want to be seen to be promoting a product like, a funeral and a cremation in such a sad time.
I know.
So I just felt very uncomfortable. So really, I didn't do it. Um, and now, hopefully, with everything going back to normal, I am going to a couple of the holistic fairs, and I do that very quietly, so I would have kind of generic products on my table, but I have a little book with the pictures of the pieces I do, so people can view it very discreetly. It's all done very discreetly, and then, of course, people come to my home to view the products, to see what they would be getting and things like that. So that was all eliminated during COVID. So it was very, very difficult. And plus, my instinct was, don't advertise it, don't promote it. And I didn't, out of pure respect for those who were grieving. Those who knew I did it, or those who found me online, they approached me, and that was fine. That was lovely. And I just dealt with the clients, or the customers that did come directly to me. I just couldn't, in all good conscience, promote something like that.
It's a really important point that you make there, because there are some businesses where being out there and being very visual on social media actually don't work. It isn't always, because discretion is the name of the game.
Well, particularly with the ashes and the hair infused pieces, for me, certainly discretion, it's probably one of the top, because even the pieces are discreet. When
Yes.
they're finished, you wouldn't go, oh my God, nobody would know. They would just say, your necklace is beautiful.
So in that case, are you trying to say then that it was necessary to focus on the other parts of the business in 14 months that we've just experienced? How did that play out for you then? What did you have to do?
Well, it was actually really hard. The initial lockdown was actually okay, because there were so many support local and I am open campaigns that were run by Samantha Kelly as well, and the Tweeting Goddess, and they were very effective for people like me who worked from home. And I made this beautiful butterfly rotation piece, and it had a butterfly on the front, and on the back it said, "This too shall pass." So that was lovely that I was able to post them to those that were cocooning. So for the first very initial lockdown, I was nicely ticking over.
Yes.
But then when the next lockdown came, the wedding industry was completely decimated. Yes. Anybody who was planning a wedding or planning to have, one of my bouquet clips or cufflinks, nothing was happening there. So that was completely out. So I kind of then relied on my generic pieces, like my robins and my angels, to give people, somebody who wanted a little gift to uplift somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So really, it was quite scary at times, not knowing what way your business was going to go. And then around September then, two of my perfect suppliers who I had a gorgeous relationship with, they went out of business with a direct result of COVID. And that left me very selfishly. I mean, I know their livelihood and their families and everything, you know, their business was gone, but I was so upset because, oh my God, where am I going to get my products? And that became a huge issue for me because I found two suppliers that were going to be able to supply the crystal lacquers and the kind of the resins that I work with and some of my sterling silver bezels. And they sang a good song and I believed them. But no, so that was a disaster, a complete disaster that happened. So I took myself away. There were days where I was saying, oh my God, am I even going to be able to continue with my business? There were so many elements. Brexit didn't help either. You know, there were so many different economic reasons. And I was just so, because I'm so emotionally attached to my business.
Of course. Of course.
You know, it's like, it's, you know, I love every piece that goes out of my home. So when all of this happened, I found it difficult to motivate myself and to get myself back up there. You know, I found it really hard.
Well, I'm delighted to be able to say that this program is being powered by the Women's Inspire Network. Can you tell us how that has helped you? Because Samantha Kelly's amazing.
Amazing. And I have had so much support throughout this dark time. There's a couple of women in the group that are like physical guardian angels that you can pick up the phone and go, oh my God, today's a really awful day. Like I have Jackie and Kerry Denny. They've both been amazing. And Sam is brilliant. She kind of knows when you're quiet. And, you know, the support in the group is fantastic. And I'm doing Joe Flood's business strategy program at the moment as well. And that's really helping. So I've kind of gone back to basics with the support from the women within the network. They've just been incredible. And I was hacked very badly before Christmas. Oh yeah, the busiest time of the year for, you know, people like me, and my Facebook business page was completely suspended. But I got such great advice from all the technical girls in the group. They were all amazing, helping, telling me what to do, who to get on to. Were incredible. So without them, it would have been impossible for me to keep going. So we're blessed to have the group. We are blessed to have them.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's probably the best group out there for support and yes, for reinventing itself and seeking out new ways, because that's a trickle down. It trickles down from the top. If the person at the top has those gifts, has that nous, then it just trickles right the way through the whole group. You attract similar people. And I think that's also why I've stayed with it, since I saw her on Nationwide a few years ago. I thought, oh, I'd be very interested to find out about this, but she has grown it and grown it and grown it. And as you say, you do meet some fantastic people. Orla Kelly Publishing. She's marvelous. Can you, if you like, can you really quantify that kind of support? I don't think you can. It's just so important that you have someone to talk to.
Yes.
And be able to bring those issues to someone who might know someone else who can sort that out. It's amazing, the network, and what power is there in the network.
It is. Most networks. I have the most amazing Lisa Kelly, who's in the group as well. Lisa Kelly from myapp.ie. She is creating, I'm so excited to say that she's creating my own webpage, my own website. And I'm super excited because I've never had my own. I'm with the Shop County Kildare. You know, I've had my own app that Lisa created for me a number of years ago, but I'm kind of going out there now, and it's there in the stages now, and it's getting so exciting to see it. But again, through the Women's Inspire, the connections were made. It's fantastic. So
you've also won awards. You've won some last year. You won the micro
business award? Yes.
Award, yes.
I was There was a Zoom meeting. It was so funny. And I just said, well, there's no way I'm going to win anything. So I was in my pajamas on Saturday. I won't lie, in my pajamas. And the next thing they called my name and I was like, oh my God. So I didn't turn the camera on at all because I literally was in, pajama bedtime mode. But I was really delighted because I've never, it was the first time I've kind of been acknowledged for me
Sure.
and for what I do. So it was really lovely to be acknowledged. It was lovely.
So, Ailish, if you had a couple of minutes to advise someone listening now on how to survive something like the last 14 months and also to carry forward into the future, what would you say to them? What would your advice be?
Oh, my advice would be to surround yourself with people who know. Surround yourself with good people. Join the Women's Inspire Network. Get women who have got, or people who have got, who are the experts in their field, so that if you run into difficulty where you honestly don't know, you've got good support around you. The motivation you get, the odd little text to say, keep going. You need that because when you're on your own, and you are, say, particularly for somebody who is creative, creative people kind of, they work on a different vibe. In my previous life, I was an accountant. I was a very bad one. I'll put my hand up and say it was a terrible accountant. Terrible. World's worst accountant. Really bad. So you need somebody around to, number one, ground you and say, look, come out of your emotions and go into your head for a few minutes. You need that. And then you need people who have the technical ability to help you in your mistakes or your errors or where you're going wrong. And you need people who are the experts surrounding you, helping you and guiding you. And then you need that support to say, come on, Ail, keep going, it's okay. You got this. You need those cheerleaders in your corner. You need them.
Well, it sounds to me like you've definitely got this, Ailish. Absolutely. One last question. And I used to think that this was a really stupid one when I was young, but actually now that I'm older, I can see how it's somehow relevant. If you had an opportunity to speak to your teenage self about career, what would you say?
Oh, go for it. Just, when you're a young person and you want to do so many things, like I wanted a completely different path. I wanted to go to RADA. I wanted to do musical theatre. I wanted to do all those things. I didn't. I didn't do that. And I would love to go back to myself and say, just go for it. Just listen to your heart and go do what makes you happy. And like years and years ago, my daughter Sai, she's studying law in Maynooth, but she was only about 6 or 7 at the time. And she said, when I grow up, I think I'd like to be a dog walker. And I said, Sai, that's great. Be a dog walker. Now, there was a slight problem with that. She doesn't particularly love dogs. But, I said, it doesn't matter. If that's what you want to do, go try it. Like, go try what you think you love. You may hate it. You may love it. It may be for you. But when you're a teenager and you're 19, 20, 21, you have so many years to make those mistakes that you don't really want to be making it, my age, so just make the mistakes. It's okay.
Because no matter what, you're going to learn. You're going to learn. And even, I'm sure you went into these other careers, but you're still bringing from that experience to this experience.
So yes, very much so. I mean, I loved I was almost 10 years in Ryanair. I was almost, 8 years in Bewley's. Like, I loved my work. I loved my jobs because I brought me into them all, so it was lovely. But I always wanted to do something else. I always wanted to be a little bit more creative than I was allowing myself to be. So so I would say to my teen self, just make the mistakes now. It's fine. It's fine.
And I would also say to people who have lost their jobs in this pandemic, this is your window of opportunity to do what you always wanted, because very often it doesn't cost the money that you think it's going to cost. It's about actually just taking the first step.
And that's
Taking
the
the first,
hardest one. That leap of faith is the hardest step,
yes,
because you have all these little thoughts going in your head saying, oh, I can't, I shouldn't, I won't be able.
yes.
Just take it. And if you can't, you tried. You know, just keep going. That's what I would say. Just make the mistakes and try again.
And in these days of social media, the support is out there. Once again, the Women's Inspire movement, absolutely wonderful. It's Women's Inspire Network. The lady who started it all is Samantha Kelly. Look her up. I'm sure you'll be absolutely delighted with the help and the support you get. Consider joining the network. My name is Miriam O'Gara. My guest today was Ailish Kelly of SÍ Jewellery, and I've been so happy to have her on. And I wish you continued success, and just can't wait to see what happens next. Looking forward to that new website, by the way,
which
is dedicated to yourself. Just signing off now, everybody. I'm going to have other Women's Inspire guests on over the coming weeks, and also some local business, national business, and international business. So, from us here on Business Block, my name is Miriam O'Gara. See you next week. Bye-bye.